Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today is day one of RPG A Day 2021. I'm doing this a little bit differently than I did in the past, last year as a matter of fact. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these videos very short, so around the 5-minute mark or so. Second thing I'm going to do is, because I am leaving on vacation very shortly, I am going to do the next 10 videos all in this one sitting or possibly two sittings today. And then they will all drop each and every day at the same time, each day. So you can actually set your watch to, hey, DM Bloodworth is dropping a video at 4:30 today. And so you'll be able to catch those over the next 10 or so days at the same time every single day. So that's another thing. But mostly, I'm going to try to keep these very short, 5-minute videos or so. So without further ado, let's get right to today's prompt is scenario. I utilize scenarios as both a DM and as a writer of adventures. I use scenarios differently. So I use a scenario as a DM for my group of players where I design one to be very specific to a character class. And so that allows for all of my players to have at least one moment in the bigger scene of an adventure. Gives them the opportunity to shine. So, for example, I might have a room that is going to require, quite a number of different thief skills in order to get through it. I might have another room where there's undead, and so this is where the cleric is going to play the biggest role in that particular room, and so on. So scenarios, I see them as opportunities to put the players into situations with their characters where their characters have a moment to shine, or perhaps only their character, and perhaps even the player themselves. They would be able to, if I know my players extremely well, I could be like, all right, well, Roger's really going to enjoy this particular scenario, and I'm expecting him to do something to move that story along. I'm expecting Roger to figure it out and to go forward. And so it gives the players the opportunity to shine as well. So that's one way I use scenarios. The other way I use scenarios as a non-DM, all right, is I use scenarios to test out different systems. So if I'm writing an adventure, all right, I might take a specific scenario and then run different types of characters through it to see, well, how does this work with your core 4 classes? So you have your magic user, your fighter, your cleric, and your thief. How does this scenario work with just those 4? Well, what if I have a group that only has 3 characters? How does that scenario work now with only 3 characters? All right, and so it's a testing feature or a tool, I should say, in order to see how it works. I develop scenarios and then use different games, so whole entirely different systems, and use those systems to run through that scenario to see which system that scenario worked out the best for. So I use it for experimentation and learning process, and also for writing, because now I have a good sense of, well, I want a scenario that, regardless of what players show up to actually run through it, they'll have a good chance of being challenged by it, but still being able to overcome it. So that's my use for the term scenario. And as I said, I'm going to keep this very, very short. So thanks for joining. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, you want to talk about how you use the term scenario, then please feel free to drop in a comment about that. And once again, always thank you for joining. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and be on the lookout for one of these every single day. It will drop at the same time each day. So whatever this one drops by, whatever time that is, I'm going to set the next 9 videos after this to drop at exactly the same time. So thanks for joining. Have a great rest of your weekend. I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. Take care.